So, hello everyone. My name's Aarif. I'm currently doing my master's in health informatics at the University of Toronto, and I am currently working as FastLane in the FastLane program as a program analyst teacher. So, just to start off, the title of my presentation is called "From Scramble to Signal: Scaling FastLane with Workflow Automation." Now, I think before I actually begin the presentation, it's really important to understand where Vector is at and kind of the bigger picture and what I did and why it's important. So Ontario's AI scene right now, thriving. It's growing, it's fast-paced, there's a lot of burning fires everywhere, there's so much that's happening, a lot of change very fast. So within the AI landscape, we've created the AI scene and environment ecosystem has created over 17,000 new AI jobs and $2.6 billion in venture capital, while 70 fresh AI startups are set up shop right here in Ontario. But there's a flip side with that. When the pace is really intense, even high-performing teams can feel like this GIF over here, just pure chaos. So scrambling for up-to-date metrics and stakeholder reports, that's kind of where I focused this summer internship on, really trying to focus on that gap for this summer. So I want to give you a little bit of context for what Vector's FastLane program is and what we kind of do. So as we saw in the previous slide for kind of the AI scene, in most deep tech fields, taking an idea from lab to market is a marathon. It usually takes 10 to 15 years. But in AI, that's like within months. So from research all the way to implementation, and then from implementation all the way to commercialization, that could be a 6-month roadmap or faster. Within the FastLane team, I've spoken to multiple startups that went from finding out a technique in 1 week to implementing within 2 months. Unheard of in any other industry. So a lot of what FastLane does is take that academic research and they kind of go into vector programming, which is either Darmod, MLA, or HealthSpark, and then commercialize that AI product. So AI plays by different rules, and I think that's something that's really important to kind of highlight. So together, all of these programs have helped hundreds of Ontario companies move faster, and not just within Ontario, within Canada, hundreds of companies. I think last time I checked, it was about 700 to 600 companies that we've helped. And the stakes are huge. So Ontario's health system spend is about $50 billion a year. And even with 1% efficiency gain from HealthSpark, for example, AI translates to about billions saved and millions of lives improved. So this is the pain point that I'm focusing on. Success is not scalable if the infrastructure is not in place. So data right now lives in people's heads and in private files. You'll find it in Slack channels here, Excel files there. You have to know someone that has a data person on their team. If they do have a data person on their team, you're great. If you know someone and you kind of understand the organization, you can kind of move around. But if you don't, you're going to be sending out a lot of Slack DMs and doing overtime. And that was a big problem that I noticed when I started. Now, this story actually starts with the AI minister. The AI minister got crowned in office, not crowned in office, but got put into office. And the next day, he sent delegations to all three, Amy, Mila, and Vector, same day, to come to us. At that time, we had to scramble. FastLane team, Darmon team, MLA team, every team had to come put reports forward. And I was very fortunate. I pretty much borrowed Cheyenne, Michael, Bob, Junaid, Fatima. I bothered them 1,000 times just to figure things out. But if you had a data person, you're great. If you don't have a data person, you're gonna have a hard time figuring things out. And when reporting comes around, because we're suffering from success, now we have new external pressure from both the federal government and from the provincial government. So good reporting is not easy, and that kind of is heroics. Like you have that person, you're great. If not, your team is failing, and now you're playing catch up. So I've addressed certain root causes. So I noticed that there was data silos. There was a lot of manual triage, and things were very reactive. So a lot of what I used to design, essentially, to design this was I really wanted to automate, centralize, and illuminate a lot of our processes right now. And every team kind of has their own process, but I wanted to standardize it across teams. So as of right now, I didn't want things to be kind of heroic. I wanted things to be kind of natural and for the things to be standardized, which was like the goal of everything that was going on. So in this particular instance, there's 3 parts to what we created this summer. So on the front end, ISEC came back to us after the fact and told us, hey, by the way, you need to report on X, Y, and Z. We realized that we weren't even collecting that data. So the first part of what we created was a form to collect data upfront and to manually triage companies that are coming into the FastLane program, which was like a really, really big pain point for us. We wanted to get companies that were of higher quality and were at a technology readiness level that was a bit higher, which was something that we really wanted to kind of get a gauge for. So the first part was creating a form, and it was an intake form. So we wanted it to be less messy and more of a smart form, a little bit higher quality companies coming in. And then what we wanted to do was automate the rest. So take this data from a form, use Zapier, put it into Salesforce, which is our CRM, and then from that, automate that and go to Power BI. Very simple, but now I think simplicity is sometimes the best when we're trying to scale across and try to create infrastructure, and we're going to be going through a lot of iterations. So this is kind of the end-to-end workflow of what we created. It's a lot, but the gist of the back end is there's the intake form that we created that is now live right now, which I'm very, very proud of everyone that was involved in helping me make that happen. I was interviewing a bunch of different team members and teams, trying to understand what their pain points were, and then trying to collect that data upfront so that we had it. And then on the back end, the automation starts with Zapier to triage and tag and give us a little bit more of a lead so we could have more of a business intelligence layer. So we could be a little more strategic in how we do our programming. And then the quality review is our team internally. We decide whether a company is good or not, what program they could join, what would be good resources for them to be involved in. And if not, they would be on a wait list where we could send them things and programs that we get externally. From there, we do like an onboarding sequence, which is essentially us doing our intro calls, which we do with a lot of our startups. And then the next part of what I created is for reporting. So pretty much getting these metrics and showing the impact of the money that was spent and all the companies that we're helping. And then the dashboard of Power BI. So now automating that, so now there's a bird's eye view on everything that's going on. Now, I learned a lot this summer. Things have been absolutely great. I love cars, so in this particular instance, racing the curve and the lessons from FastLane for me were AI is a race car. We're steering while accelerating. It's really intense, but we're building something bigger than any of us. And that takes infrastructure and that takes a lot of intention. And curiosity fuels progress. So I was always told growing up, curiosity doesn't kill the cat, but for me, it gives it 9 lives. So ask bold questions and keep learning, which is super, super important. And tap into the community. I feel like everyone here is probably some of the brightest people I've ever met. We're industry leaders. So I feel like for me, tapping into that community of what Vector is and what Vector has to offer is something that we're probably not going to get anywhere else. So that was a big lesson for me, and relationships compound. So AI moves fast, but trust and lessons last. So it's really hard to build trust, very easy to lose it, but relationships are what matter, and that value is in the people, because once you understand the needs, then you're able to actually make solutions for AI. Otherwise, it's just a lot of noise. And especially in what we're doing with AI, that's a lot. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. And special thanks to everyone that helped me. So Michael, Junaid, Bob, Craig, Taylor. I could find a picture. I tried. I really tried. But I could not find her picture, so I just put Pooja. What is this behavior? But yes, so that is my presentation. Thank you so much.
Yes. I have a question. So in terms of, are you kind of done with the process now of the entire automation, and are there still pieces remaining? Kind of where are you at?
So as of right now, we've got the first part of our implementation done, which is the creation of the form.
Yeah.
So now we're collecting a lot of that data that's been put live. Now we're working with the IT team to create new fields within Salesforce. They're making a change from Zapier right now to do the automation to a new program which we don't know about yet. But once that's live, because it's a very simple workflow, once that starts, we're just gonna work with the IT team just to automate the front end and the back end. After that, it's gonna be, I guess, us working with the D&D team to try to figure out how we could standardize the workflow amongst all of us. So that's gonna be the change management piece and us working together to try to figure out how we could start scaling and creating that infrastructure for us.
Okay, that sounds great. Just a follow-up in case people don't have questions,
Yes.
but in terms of the automations and KPIs you're looking to extract, can you tell me a bit about those? Like what kind of automations, what kind of insights are you hoping to actually draw out now?
Yeah, I think the big thing I noticed is that we're suffering from success. Like we're scaling very fast. There's a lot of companies that are coming in, and we're kind of put in a position now where we're a little reactive. It's like, when it's time for us to do an MLA call out, a Darmon call out, a HealthSparks call out, we have to kind of like go into Salesforce right now, and like it's a lot. It's very messy. It's all over the place. I'm very lucky I could tap into Bob, Junaid, you, or Michael to try to figure that out. But for the most part, what we're trying to do now for the next part, we want to make it so that when ISET comes to us, we have that reporting down packed, and that data is ready for us to report on, which is one thing. But then the second thing is once we start getting trends and understanding, we can start being a little more intentional with that data on how we do programming. So like something that I learned about, for example, when I was speaking to you and Michael, and like to Junaid and Bob, it's like in between Darmon and MLA, there seems to be a little bit of gap for startups, and startups need a little more supports and a little more guidance. That's like something that I would only find out by speaking with you, but having that data to back it could help us get more funding to support more programming, which is what I was trying to do. So those type of insights are another thing that we're trying to bring forward. And like Glenda said it really, really nicely. She was talking about the importance of data. But I think right now it's hard when we don't collect that data. So I think this was a big part of what I was hoping to create for this. One thing that I was trying to tell with this story too is you can't really speak about the AI race without Vector, and you can't talk about the implementation or commercialization without FastLane. So I think MLA, Darmon, HealthSpark, all our programming within our D&D team is that much more important now, because now more than ever, like we're the ones who are helping commercialize, which is not done anywhere else, in my opinion. Like this is just, I'm a little biased. Done anywhere else. Yeah,
that helps a lot.
Yeah.
I have one more question, but
of course, please.
Anyone wants to ask, I don't want to hog all there.
One point, you mentioned about the quality check. I'm not sure if that was directly part of it, but essentially, like I'm curious as to how do you sort of categorize companies as to like is it based on how mature the product is, or is it how much of how well it would be appealing to the public? How do you what is the factors that sort of go in it?
So the thing is like right now, like a lot of times when startups come to us, we don't discriminate because we want to help as many startups as possible. There was a table that I didn't include in this that we kind of created that we've included into onboarding right now that kind of shows the difference. So Darmon, the program is more for data readiness. The idea behind it is we're trying to get early stage startups that are trying to do proof of concept. So a lot of times when startups come, sometimes like they don't have a use case, they don't know about their data, they don't know like who, what, when, why, where. So the use case development is Darmon. Now MLA is more of a program where it's kind of an injection. It's augmenting ability. When a company wants to implement and scale faster, they would come through MLA and they would hire our MLA talent and get that world-class talent that they might not be able to do with HR, right? Because their HR is already trying to do so much and they're getting a free project manager. So that's like what they get from MLA. So a lot of times the quality check is just pretty much ensuring that, okay, like where are they? Would they be a good fit? But that comes with understanding of like the programming that we have. And a lot of times, like right now, it's a very manual, tedious process. So a lot of times when people apply, it's like Cheyenne's going in manually, going through each individual thing. Bob is going manually, going in individual things. I didn't want to automate it and remove the human element because I was worried that, you know, we're designing it for our teams. And at the end of the day, it's their decision that like really, really matters because they have worked in multiple cohorts. Now I think we're at MLA 9 coming. Now we're in
Starting up and planning for 10 already.
and planning for 10 already. So, and just for reference, like on average, we're doing multiple boot camps, multiple MLA cohorts, multiple Dharman cohorts. So because of that, like it's the QI is the team. And a lot of times, like that was what the QI check was supposed to be. It's like it's been automated, but now a lot of the manual work for checking if they're registered, checking if, like are they incorporated, all of that comes forward now, and they can just be like, okay, yes, no. Oh, what's this use case? Let me look into it a little bit further, and then go from there. So it was really designed for our team, which was the main important thing for